What if I told you this clip was actually filmed in the summer and this clip never had confetti? In this video, I want to show you all how to add overlays from Adobe Stock to enhance your videos. Let's get into it. So recently, I just hit 8 years on my YouTube channel and I wanted to just create a clip that will highlight this milestone. However, I was shooting everything by myself, and so I didn't really have the opportunity to, one, purchase confetti, nor did I have the opportunity to shoot the confetti off while I was trying to also be in the frame. And so with that, I knew I was going to have to use Adobe Stock to add some confetti and make this video more festive. First things first, the first thing that you want to do is you want to find the stock footage that you want to use before you actually shoot. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want to make sure that you're shooting the footage right based on the stock footage that you want. Confetti can come from both sides, confetti can come straight down, confetti can come from your mouth. So it really depends on what you actually want to use, and then that's going to determine how you want to shoot. For me, I'm a simple girl and I wanted it to either come from the sides or come straight down. And so with that, I found a couple of options that I wanted to try and post. And so I really just went in, used my credits, downloaded it, and imported it in Adobe Premiere Pro. Now, based on that, I knew exactly how I wanted to shoot, which for me, I wanted to shoot straight on. Because I'm a filmmaker, I was able to find a beautiful frame as inspiration, and that allow me to see what it was going to look like. And so being able to see the stock footage ahead of time and being able to see an inspo of a frame that I wanted to shoot, I knew that it would potentially work. And so from there, I shot everything, and then I also imported that into Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay. So as you can see here, we have our sequence. So I pretty much wanted to edit everything before adding the graphics. And for me, I knew that I wanted the confetti to come on after I blew the candle, and so I have this marker right here. And the way to add a marker is to hit M. You can add it and then you can also delete it. I have all of these imported, so as you can see, I went through and downloaded a lot because I really wanted to make sure that I had some that work. But after going through everything, I kind of just realized that this one felt the most natural. It pops out on both sides and it just looks like confetti, and so that's the one that I decided to use. So because I'm not going to have any audio, I'm just going to drag the clip on top on video 2, which is going to be above my video, which is on video 1, and then I'm going to trim it down to match the clip. Now from there, as you can see, it is black and you can't see my frame under, you just see it. So the whole thing is we have to go and blend it into the frame and make it feel authentic and make it feel real. And so this is where you play with your blend mode. Now there's gonna be you have a lot of options when it comes to blending, and it really depends on the clip itself. As you can see, this is on black. Some of the clips are on white, some of the clips are on green. And so different blending is gonna be needed depending on your clip. But because this is on black, after playing with these different ones, and you can kind of just see if you go darken how that looks, if you go light how that looks, overlay how that looks, I end up coming down to exclusion and felt that this looked the most natural for me. Now the thing is, as you can see, I actually shot this anamorphic, and so if I play it, it doesn't feel real because it's going to be on the black bars, which means it looks like an overlay. So what I'm going to do next is I'm pretty much going to just bring that down, position it right where it starts for the clip, and then I'm going to crop the bottom to make sure it doesn't bleed into the black. And now you see that it is a part of the clip, or it looks like it's a part of the clip. There we go. There we go. And because of that blend, it just looks like it's coming from both sides, and it doesn't make you think twice about the actual graphic. It just feels, because of the timing and everything, it just feels authentic and it feels nice. And if you wanted to, you can go a step further and change your opacity. If you wanted to bring the opacity down, you could. If you want to bring it up, you could. But because we use the exclusion, it already kind of changed the opacity for us, and I really wanted these to still pop. And so I felt like this gave me what I needed, and it wasn't too much, it wasn't too drying, but that is pretty much it. So now this is the before, and then this is the after. Now the thing is too, you want to make sure that your environment is going to also help you, help the confetti feel natural. So you see the balloons, you see, this color that is also helping the color of the confetti. So you want it to all, you don't want to just use these assets without, really setting the scene. Make sure you set the scene as well. Now, when it comes to this snow clip, this one was really, really tough because I live in Los Angeles and it's always sunny. And so for me, the biggest thing was, how can I make my atmosphere also look like it's kind of like a snowy day? So I couldn't really shoot when the sun was full up. So I really had to either shoot at night or shoot when the sun was rising and it wasn't too much light, because that gave more of a darker feel, which in turn is going to allow it to feel like it could be snowing in LA. That was the first thing, figuring out what time that you need to shoot this, especially if you live in a place that's just always sunny and that really doesn't get any snow. And so with that, I decided to shoot before the sun rise at a park that was next to my house. Now, again, I went and I found a frame that I really liked, that I thought would be pretty simple to do to really make and elevate this, snowfall. And I, of course, got dressed to match that aesthetic as well. So even though it is still 80 degrees outside, I wore a pullover, I had some sweats on, and I had a hat on, because ultimately when we go in and we edit all this, we wanted to feel like it is actually snowing and it may be cold. And so that was the first thing that I had to do. From there, I did go on Adobe Stock first to just see what kind of snow overlays that they did have and what I can do when I went out to shoot. And then from there, I thought, oh, I could really play with this footage if the snow is just gonna fall straight down from the sky. I can lick my tongue out, I can hold my hand up, I can do all of these different things based on the type of stock that I found. So it's imperative to always research the stock first, so you know how to shoot the clip that you want to shoot, to make sure that it matches exactly how you're going to want to, because that's the most important part. The overlays should feel like they're actually a part of the scene and not overlays. And so from there, I brought the clip as well as the stock into Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, so as you see here, we have our two shots. I didn't know which shot I wanted to use, so I shot more wide and I shot more tight because of my inspo photo for the tight shot. And then, like I said, I have a couple of different snow falling from the sky, and as you can see, some is fast, some is also slow, and I think I actually want to go for more of a slow speed because I'm really just kind of like vibing out in this outside, and it just feels like it should be like a slower pace instead of a fast paced type of snow. And so from there, I really just want to pick my snow. Now, some are a lot more like just like detailed than others. Like you can see the snow from the front and the back, like, which gives a lot of detail. But I really wanted to go with something a little bit more subtle. This is way too fast, so I just decided to go with this one. And then just kind of like make it just fall like a lot slower. So the first thing that I'm going to do first, though, in order to make sure that I get the look that I want to go for, is I'm going to add an adjustment layer. And so from there, I'm going to go right click and then hit new item, adjustment layer. And that is going to let me color both clips. And then from there, the whole point of snow, especially because it's LA, and again, I shot this when the sun was rising, so it's not too much sun. So I really want it to look like a cloudy day. And the whole point is to make it more of like this bluer feel, because when you think of snow and you think of daylight when snow is happening, most times it's not snowing when it's sunny, it's snowing when it's cloudy. So from there, I decided to play around with the LUTs already provided in Premiere. I saw that they had the blue day for night, and so I decided to click that, and then that essentially just kind of gave me this feel. Now, as you can see, it's overly blue and it doesn't even look real. So what I like to do is go to my intensity, bring it down to like 50%, and then from there I want to go to but before we do that, I actually want to go to my input LUT and put my Rec 709 LUT, because I did shoot flat. These are Sony LUTs that I got from their site. And so I'm going to add my Rec 709 LUT, and then you can kind of see that day for night and what it's doing. So if you want to stay at 100, you can. But of course, I like to make it feel more like it's blended in. So that's why I decided to bring it down to 50%. And then here you can kind of see that this is darker because my things were wrong. So I'm gonna bring this to 0. My settings were different, I should say. And so now it looks like it's like a cloudy day. I'm looking up like, dang, it's snowing. And so from there, I'm going to go in and add my snow. So again, we decided for this one, I'm gonna pretty much put the snow on top of my adjustment layer, because if I put it under my adjustment layer, then it's only gonna blend in based on the color, and I want it to stay white and I want it to be snow. But we'll play around and we'll see. So as you can see, this is 2 on black, and so we have to blend it in so we can see me under it, but also make it feel like it's blended and it's real and authentic. Now, in the earlier when I did the confetti, I ended up using exclusion, but clearly exclusion doesn't look as great on this one, which is why I said you have so many options for blending modes and you really have to play around with it. What I found out with this one was the color dodge was really the best look for what we were going for, which was the snow look. Everything else that I used kind of just didn't feel as real to me. This one doesn't feel bad, the lighting, and the screen is just too much. Overlay, clearly that's a no, and color burn is all a no. And so for me, color dodge was really just the best one that kind of made it feel a little bit more authentic, especially in this second shot. Now, again, if we decided to go for like lighten, you would just basically see more of the snow. So then you would want to bring down your opacity to just blend it in some more and make it feel real. So it really could go either way. You could play around with the lighting and bring it down 50%, or you can go into the color dodge and then just have it not be so much and make it feel a little bit more subtle. So it's really up to you on how you want that to go, but essentially that's what I did to really blend it in and get the shot that I wanted to go for, because as you can see, it's grass on the ground and then it's not white. So I don't want it to feel like there's a lot of snow coming down. I just want it to feel like it just started snowing and I'm like, wow, it is snowing in LA. How does that happen? And so that's why I want it to be like this subtle, very subtle feel. And that is pretty much it. Again, playing around with like your environment, you know, playing around with your color and tying that all in together is going to give you the look that you want and make it feel authentic. Now, for me, it was pretty simple, but I know the more, you know, you have a very diverse clip, the more you really have to go into Adobe Stock and play with it and find a stock that works for you. It is all depending on what you shoot and how you shoot. But it is a doable situation, and I actually had a lot of fun doing it, and knowing that when I don't have all the clips and tools that I need physically, I can get it in post from Adobe Stock, as they have a plethora of options of overlays and assets and things for you to choose from. So with that, hopefully it helped you all. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and make sure that you check out Adobe Stock for more overlays like these when you want to create more seasonal and festive content. All right, love you guys. Bye.